What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Musi Gaming here, and today I'm back with another episode of a account coaching series featuring Jordan. I think that's supposed to be Jordan, right? So Jordan's account. Now Jordan here actually reached out to me through Discord from the link down below, and then adding me on the Discord, and then personal messaging me, hey, I was wondering if you can actually take a look at my account and, suggest me what should I do with my account and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. Gotcha. I'll go ahead and make a video about it. And here we are. And there's two other people that I need to do. So I do apologize for those of you who did reach out to me. And if you want your very own account coaching series, feel free to reach out to me on the Discord. You can join the Discord for the channel from the link down below, and then reach out to me personally so that you can actually get one of those videos made for you with best of my advices for your account. Now, with all that said, if you can go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, that would help me out a ton. The channel viewership has been going off the charts. To be really honest, I wasn't expecting that much of increase in viewership and watch hour for the last month. My rally and zero, surprisingly, zero videos have gone through the roof. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in for my channel. But if you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well, that would be really appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into Jordan's account. Now, Jordan reached out to me saying that I'm currently sitting at VIP 16. Congratulations. Still 500k away from 17. So 500,000. Once he hit 500,000, VIP 17, I think he can start considering rallying. So that's basically when you can actually start thinking about, oh, well, maybe I should garrison rally because you'll have that 5% all damage buff. Now, ideally, you want to be in VIP 19 so that you can actually get that extra 5% attack as well. But most people who are rallying garrison who actually raise their own account wouldn't really have the luxury of doing that. Those of you who bought the account, fine, whatever. But for those of us who have raised the account from the beginning, may not have that luxury. Or you may, who knows? You might be in SVIP, which will be really, really cool for you. But unfortunately for me, and unfortunately for Jordan, we're still not at that level. So Jordan, if you hit level 17, you'll be able to actually rally and garrison for your account. But let's just read through. And current power and KP you're currently in is power normal. Wait, hold on. Current power and KP. I'm currently in KvK, so my power is normal than it started at. Lower than he started at is what he meant, I think. You can see that he's currently at 70 million power, 3.1 billion kill points, but he started the KvK with 102 million power. So you can see that he has 2 million deads sitting in his Hall of Deads, Hall of Heroes, whatever you call it. Yeah, the Dead Hall. Which is good. He did fight quite a lot in this KvK, like it looks like, and good for you, Jordan. I hope you gained a lot of kill points as well as meeting all the thresholds that you needed to meet for your kingdom. And he only has 26 gold heads after maxing Arthur. I took over this account 3 months ago. Okay, so this is an account that he took over 3 months ago, and since then you built Ragnar Skippy and now building Arthur March. I would like you to suggest my long-term goal, as I think short-term goal is to finish gear information for Arthur and Philip. Any more info you need, feel free to ask. Cool. Now, all in all, summary-wise, objective and current status. Short-term, you need to finish equipment on Arthur and Philip. I'll actually evaluate that and then give you my best suggestion on what you should be working on first. And then long-term goal suggestion is basically asked. So he wants me to suggest what his long-term goals could be. So I'll go ahead and do that myself. He did go from 102 million power to 170 million power. This KvK, which is all understandable. He fought a lot. He fought very extensively. Hopefully he did win the KvK. But for me, I got 0, so I went from 90 million to 64 million right now. But for him, I hope that was not the case. Current lineup is Ho Joan Prime, Will Wallace, Liu Che, Zhuge Liang Herman Prime, and then Ragnar Prime, and Scipio Prime, and then Arthur and Philip. And all in all, the current lineup looks really, really powerful. Yeah, there's not really much that I would suggest, but very, very solid lineups to be really frank. And he sent me this really cool image where he actually summarized everything. You can see that it's from the chat, like as is. I could actually just use this and don't have to worry about going into 2 different slides, 5 different slides usually when I go over each commander, which is cool. But let's take a look at what he has. So for his first march, which is Ho Joan, he has full equipment. It looks like he has some iconics on the gloves. Is it? Yeah, it looks like he has some iconics on the gloves, which is good. And he has some iconics on the pants, but he doesn't have talents on those. Ring and Horn, so very, very good. He does have Devious and Militant, which will give you attack and skill damage, I believe. So pretty solid set. The only thing that I'll work on is getting that Hunter on there, which will be really good. But as is really, really powerful. Now his infantry equipment is a little better. He does have KvK helmet, KvK weapon, and then the Hope Cloak talented, Eternal Knight talented, and then the Boost talented. It looks like he did have iconics on those, which is interesting. Iconics on boots only, and maybe the pants is the quality that I got those were not really that high, but I think he does have at least iconic 2 on this, which is good. He's wearing Greatest Glory and then the ring, which is all good for the infantry that he has. He has pincer formation, he has radar, which is good. He's just missing Toppler, I believe, so that's something that he can give eventually as well. Great stats with some march speed and some all damage as well. And then William Wallace and Liu Che can't ask a lot more than that. Now, his Archer March, Zhuge Liang Herman, has KvK weapon and KvK helmet, and KvK weapon critted, which is goaded. And right around the corner, there will be the greatest of all time Archer commander that's about to be released for the game, Emperor Qin. So having a really good Archer gear is going to be a big, big help for him. And then also at the same time, he does have 2-piece leadership pants and boots, which is awesome. He does have the boost critted, Milky Way critted as well, which is good. And then if he does have epic gloves, but that is actually good because you don't have anything crafted already. That means that you can actually give him the best optimal set that he can give for that slot. And for archers in specific, that's going to be actually the leadership gloves because it gives you defense over attack. So very, very nice. And then he does have March Speed Flag, which is good as a substitute for any infantry, any equipment, any accessories for archers because archers innately need to run faster away from cavalries and stuff. He does have Hunter. He does have Boiling Blood. So that is a scroll and instrument, legendary and rare inscription. And then he does have about 30% with 1.7% all damage. So pretty strong wedge formation as well. And then his fourth set, he has basically full infantry equipment set. It is a little bit of bummer that he doesn't have the Sacred Grasp, the non-set glove here. If he was to use shields, because that way he doesn't have 4-piece bonus here, but minor change. I wouldn't really worry about it. I wouldn't even worry about actually crafting one. Then he does have empty slots for those accessory slots, which is good because you'll be able to actually put in anything that I suggest there. Wedge formation, focused on a lot of inscriptions as well as 30% stats, which is good. Ragnar Prime, Skippy Prime, very, very solid March overall. Now, Arthur Phillip is his work in progress project. I can see that. He does have the epic weapon and epic pants and gloves, which are all really, really good. Those two are like the gloves and the pants for cavalry is actually really, really strong. And the epic weapon is actually going to give you defense, which is a lot needed for cavalries. And then the chest piece, which will give you attack, the defense from the blue piece, and then the attack from boost. Okay, so there's something that you can work on from the Arthur Phillip, and I assume that he doesn't have a really good delta formation yet, so that I'll go ahead and suggest as well. Equipment priority for him to upgrade, I specifically usually suggest in an order which that you will get the maximum amount of power out of your murder ball. And then my suggestion is that you actually make for the very first craft, you should actually make horn for infantry number 1, William Wallace and Yu Che. Now, you might be wondering, hey, he already has 2 different accessories built for him. I actually am suggesting that you use Greatest Glory and then move the ring over to either the archer or infantry. I would say you should move it to infantry number 2 for now, because March Speed Flag is actually more usable for archer than infantry right now, in my opinion. And then you can craft the second ring for infantry number 2. So that way you have 4 different marches, 1, 2, 3, 4, with very, very usable set. Almost meta max level power for those 4 marches, to be really fair. So those will be basically complete at that point. And then I actually suggest that you craft a drum for cavalry number 2. And the reason for that is because, for one, Arthur Phillip, for now, with whatever equipment that you have on them, is going to kind of work as if you're using a buffer march, right? Obviously, with combo damage, you have more chance to trigger the drum. And also at the same time, you'll be able to buff the 5 March Murder Ball with Philip's all damage buff, as well as the all damage taken reduction buff, right? So if you give him the drum, then he will be able to basically maximize that value of Arthur Phillip, even more so than the horn, in my opinion, for your current setup. Then I would actually suggest that you do give them another horn so that you can trigger that all damage buff as much as possible, also at the same time. And then that way, so you can actually run away after using the rage of Arthur and Philip together in a murder ball as well. Now, with that said, then I will actually suggest that you get the archer number 1 a ring. But this is optional because some people actually prefer having March Speed Flag critted over here, because of the fact that archers will get punished for being left behind and having not as much March Speed, right? So moving that to a ring is an optional thing. It's really a preference thing, in my opinion, but something that you can consider. And then you can work on archer number 1's glove. Now, previously I've actually suggested that you get the leadership glove, which will give you 6% troop defense over, I think, if you get the non-set piece for archer is 8% attack. And then if you get the set piece, Dragon Breast set, for archer, you'll get 7.5%. So 8%, 7.5% attack versus 6% defense of troop. Now, the reason why I recommend the troop defense is, for one, attack is not really as valuable for archer. And 2, I think if you give him the leadership glove, this actually becomes the technical best set for archer altogether, which will enable you to become a rally and garrison lead in the future with your archer, especially given that you already have the formation almost completed. So it will really set you up for success with that archer merch at the end. Now, if you are thinking about rallying and garrisoning, having a ring there will be a must. So just for your reference, that's why I have it in blue. But yeah, so that's basically what I would suggest. So at that point, you'll basically have everything on your 4 marches complete. Now you can then work on your cavalry set is what I'll recommend. And the order in which that you work on it is actually get the chess piece, because the epic chess piece for cavalry is just garbage. It gives you attack, and cavalry doesn't really need that much attack, to be really fair. But the set chess piece, the Hellish Wasteland chess piece, will give you a lot of health. Actually, one of the most amount of health in the game, except for Milky Way. So, one of the best piece of equipment replacing the one of the worst epic equipment. So that's good. Now, and then I recommend that you get the boost, because again, the stat swap from attack, this piece right here will give you attack, cavalry attack. We don't want that. We want health. And then moving from attack to health is recommended the most. And then I actually suggest you get the gloves. Now, gloves for cavalry is weird in the sense that it gives you double stats, I believe, health and attack or something like that. But then again, Nevar's control does give you a lot more health than the total amount of stats that you can actually get from the epic piece. Also, at the same time, if you iconic it, you'll get more stats away from that. So, all in all, just a great investment. Navarre's control is one of the best that you can give any cavalry. So, go ahead and do that. Non-stat pens, which is Ashadon, which is the same thing that you have on your first cavalry march, but just replacing this one, the epic one. Although the epic one, which is the gladiators pants or something like that, is really good. Ashadon is the eventual upgrade that you have to make anyways. So I'll actually suggest that you do that. And then I recommend that you work on your set helmet and set weapon. The reason why I don't recommend that you work on it, you work on Pride of the Khan and Sacred Dominion, which is the KvK pieces for your cavalry number 2, is because, for one, I think you still have a long way to go with your KvK coins. Like, you can work on your cavalry set, you can work on your infantry set, you can work on your archer set. So there will be a lot of KvK coins that you have to spend anyways to perfect, quote unquote, your other marches, so that it helps that you actually just don't do that for your second best cavalry set, right? So that's why I recommend that you use the set helmet and set weapon. And then that kind of leads into my long-term suggestion, which is, given that you already have Hydra's Bow crit. Now this, having Hydra's Bow crit is so much more important than any other KvK weapon and helmets that you can actually get. Is because, for one, this gives you 32.5% defense. 32.5%. That is a huge amount of defense that you can get. That is better than any other KvK equipment that you can possibly get. And also, you already have a lot of your armaments into your archers. So if you were to work on a set to kind of perfect it, quote unquote, you can possibly aim for garrison and rally for archer. Again, not. I think rallying and garrisoning in a KvK is not meant for everyone. Like, you have to put in a lot of money and effort into your stuff, and I get it. But given that you have Hydra's Bow crit, making that perfect will kind of enable you to become rallying garrisoning. And you don't have to become rallying garrisoning. You can just work on a perfect archer set and just be done with it, because of the fact that we're right around the corner from the release of Qin Shi Huang, which is, spoiler alert, going to be the strongest single damage dealing commander in the game. Period. Like, Qin Shi Huang has, I actually mentioned this in a different video. Qin Shi Huang has a potential to deal more than 10,000 damage factor in 10 seconds. That is crazy amount of damage. And given that you're already leading more towards having a perfect archer set already, just working on your archer set for the long term might not be a terrible idea. And then eventually, I think you should work on your siege march. For one, is because you have a lot of projects that you can actually that you need to finish, and two, because siege actually enables you to fight with other people in a way that it was not possible before, right? And yes, it's just so that's why I think siege is really really important, and you can also craft 4-piece blue set that are really really amazing in terms of the stats that it gives to siege units. The gathering blue set pieces that you can get from Pan's uh, Pan's chest piece, helmet, and then boots. So those 4 pieces alone is actually good enough for you to actually get a siege march going, even if you're using double epic commanders. So work on a siege march is what I would recommend for your long-term goal before you work on your sixth field march. That is whether another infantry, another cavalry, another archer, is my opinion. In terms of armament, I would say travel with wedge delta pincer. I think you might be already doing that, so just go in and work on those, and then make sure that you focus on getting the delta for the last one, and then you should be good to go. Now this is a graphical representation of how I would suggest the equipment order. Again, horn for your infantry number 1, and then move the ring over to infantry number 2, and then craft another horn for your infantry number 2. That way you have basically these 4 really really up to speed with everything else. Now then craft the drum so that everyone on this on your lineup can benefit from more and more rage, more and more all damage, and all damage taken reduction buff from Arthur Philip. And then horn to actually make that even faster in terms of all damage buff that Philip gives. And then work on perfecting your archer, which is okay, optionally you can get the ring. You don't have to, but you can get the ring. Or you can actually move over your infantry number 2's ring and then just give the march speed to infantry number 2, whatever you prefer. And then you can work on making that leadership glove so that you have a perfect, the most meta as of today, archer set in the game. So this is actually the tankiest build that you can actually get for archers, which is really really powerful. Now from then onward, you can actually work on your cavalry set in the order of which that I suggested. Now moving on to commanders. So this is your current setup. I'm not gonna go over it, but then again, let's just go over it. Let's just mention what you have. Ho Joan, which is good. William Wallace, Liu Che, Zhuge Liang, Herman Prime, Ragnar Prime, Skippy Prime, and then Arthur Philip, right? Prospectively, you keep the Ho Joan. You should work on getting Bai Chu eventually with Liu Che, in my opinion. And then work on, also you should work on having Chen Shi Huang. Oh, I actually made a mistake. Let me actually correct that. Give me a second. Now, what was I thinking? Like, I had Herman Prime paired with Chen Shi Huang, huh? But yeah, you should have Chen Shi Huang paired with Zhuge Liang, I think. This could change based on test results, but then again, Chen Shi Huang with Zhuge Liang, and then everything else should be basically the same. The Ragnar Prime, Skippy Prime, Arthur, Philip, and then you can work on your 6 Siege March. Right now, the best is Gazamata and Gonzalo, but I think you can wait. By the time that you work on those pair, they might not be as relevant. So I'll just take your time when you're actually considering the siege march. Now, commander priority, commander number 1, Emperor Qin, you already have the best archer set, potentially best archer set already. So having Emperor Qin, they're running on the field with that Qin Shi Huang, Zhu Liang, or whatever it is that you're running Qin Shi Huang with, will be just doing a lot of damage to anything on you touch on the field. Now, priority number 2, Bai Qi. Just give Bai Qi to Liu Che, and then just run that Bai Qi Liu Che pincer formation. That's just gonna be busted, right? And then priority number 3, siege set, Gonzalo, Gaza, Mara, and then Gonzalo is good for now. But then again, next commander release is actually leadership, and then they might actually release engineering instead of leadership. So if that's the case, whatever comes out next might be better. So just wait for it. Just work on those 2 commanders and then just wait for it. And then if you are looking to rally garrison, currently the best rally combo is Shapur and Ashurbanipal. But do not work on those until you have iconic 2 to 4 of all equipment on your archers first, before, so that meta does not change. So meta is going to be changing constantly, right? It might not be actually worth for you to work on Ashurbanipal or Ash or Shapur, or even any archer garrison like Daido or Choyang, right? So I wouldn't work on those until you get all of them critted and iconic 2 to 4. And by that point, I can guarantee you that the meta has changed, that archers cannot really use those maybe. So who knows? The meta will change though. And especially for garrison, because archer garrison right now is kind of meh with Choyoung, especially if you're trying to use wedge with him. So it is what it is. Yeah, so I would say just work on those equipments first and then think about potentially working on your rally garrison. But I just realized that myself was actually there, so I'm gonna actually move myself over here a little bit, and then yeah, currently Shapur, Ashurbanipal is the best, but do not work on those until you have iconic 2 to 4 on all equipments first, because meta could change always, right? Anyways, that's it for today's video. Jordan, I hope this was really helpful, and I hope this was helpful for everyone who's watching that are in very similar situation as Jordan. So if you guys found this video helpful, please feel free to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. All right, peace.